Hey, it's Christine Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another reaction video. Like the video and you're waiting. Let's get straight into it.
I'm 38 years old. I've never been married. I've never had children. I have 3 cats in my house. Only 2 of them are mine.
I mean, credit where credit's due. I don't think she looks 38.
But it's another Christmas that is about to come and go where my relationship status is the same. And it's crazy because if you had asked me 10 years ago if I would be single at 38, I would have been like, absolutely not. And if I am, then just me now. You know, here's one of my kitties. Look at this little baby girl. This is Willow. Say hi, Willow. And I have such a complicated relationship with this time of year. I really do, because I have a complicated relationship with being single. There's a part of me that really values my life and my time to myself and my independence. And then there's a part of me that feels really embarrassed about it.
So just tell us that you're 38 and you have no idea what you want.
Admitting that I want to be in a relationship.
Why would you be embarrassed about wanting to be in a relationship when if people weren't in relationships, none of us would be here? It's so strange. Like, what has modern feminism done? Like, it's made women feel like, oh, to be in a relationship is not cool. Like, okay, so what is cool? Dying? Like, it's literally the basis of human life.
And I think a big part of that is it makes me feel like maybe I'm being needy or I'm being clingy and all these, like, I don't know what it is, but it's almost embarrassing. It is. I feel embarrassed to be 38 and single and never married. I also think a part of me feels forgotten by God or the universe because I feel like I've done so much internal work on myself, and yet I feel like I can't seem to attract my person into my life. And even saying all of this out loud feels really...
I think this lady has no idea what she wants, which is a shame because she's 38. And I can understand the feeling of, you know, being forgotten, but it's like, did you try or did you push away every suitable bachelor that came your way? Listen, I'm not gonna lie, like, she looks great for 57. Good on her. But, you know, she looks good for 57, so why are you struggling to find someone to date? Like, sure, the top, you know, 20% of, say, 60-year-old guys are definitely not going for her, but, like, there's probably a 70-year-old somewhere that would be more than happy with her. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. Like, I don't want to jump on this bandwagon of, I hate... You'll know this if you followed me for a while. I hate doomsday content. You know, I don't actually want people to be single forever. I know there's a lot of people online that genuinely, like, want people to be single and lonely forever because, you know, they just think the world's cooked, it's on its way out, there's no hope, so there's no point making any real lasting connections. Or, you know, women are evil, so they deserve to suffer for the rest of their life. I'm not that guy. So if you're looking for that kind of, like, real black pill content, like, that's not me. Do I think people need to learn from their mistakes? Absolutely. Do I think that suffering is the best way to learn from your mistakes? Hell yeah. But do I think that means you have to suffer for a lifetime? No. I'm personally someone who really struggles with nihilism. So, you know, my dad always taught me treat others as you wish to be treated. I don't wish upon myself to be nihilistic for a lifetime. I don't wish upon myself to live without hope in the world. So I don't wish that for other people either. If that's your prerogative, that's absolutely fine. But that's just not my prerogative. I really can't live in a world without hope. So this 57-year-old woman, you know, she does look quite good for her age. Again, like, you might disagree, but I know women who are in their 40s and 50s and she does look fairly good for her age. Like, she should be able to find someone. The problem here is that she's doing this shit on TikTok. She's doing that stuff. She's behaving like a 25-year-old girl. And that's unattractive. What I'm thinking is it's probably not that men don't want a plain and simple woman. It's that the men you're going after don't want you because you're 57. You know, what are the chances that she's going after someone who's actually available and like a normal person and a mid like her? You know, very low. The kind of ego you have to be able to post stuff like that on TikTok is insane. So that would probably suggest that she thinks she's somewhere, you know, in the dating pool that she's not. It's delusional is what it is. She needs to, you know, she needs to figure out what she wants ultimately, because either you want a good looking guy, you know, a really good looking guy who's successful, this, that, and the other, you know, the people that you're probably going after, in which case you can't have them forever. You can probably have them for a night. So have that, fine, if that's what you want. Or you want a relationship, you want a long-term committed relationship, in which case you're going to have to find someone more on your level. A normal guy, maybe he's divorced, maybe he's got a few kids who are probably in adulthood now, and he also wants a committed relationship, a companion for your, you know, final years, sorry to put it morbidly, but like your, you know, retirement years. Like, it's not... I've seen like old couples all over the place. There was somewhere I went recently, it was a family-owned business, or like it was like a couple that owned the business, and they were like a fairly old couple, 60 something. I know some of you in my comment section are in your 60s. Sorry for the use of the word old, but older than me. And I think they met and got married like in their 50s. So, you know, it does happen. It does happen. And I think online can really skew things sometimes. I try my best to be conscious of speaking from real life experiences. My auntie is a perfect example. She got married at 19, had my cousins, and unfortunately her husband, my uncle, passed away when I was about 4. So her daughters were 17 and one of them was in their early 20s. And then, you know, almost 10 years later, she met someone else and they married. And I'm fairly sure she was in her late 50s and he was in his 60s. And I was a, you know, flower girl at their wedding, and they're still together now. And this was a long time ago now. But yeah, like, this woman in particular, she's delusional, right? We can all agree on that. She's delusional. She's doing this stuff like a 25, like my auntie certainly wouldn't post something like that on TikTok. You know, she's posing like a 25-year-old girl on TikTok. She's, you know, not stating the obvious. You know, she's saying they don't want a plain and simple girl when really it's they don't want a 57-year-old woman. And she's almost definitely going after men that would not go after her if she's not getting results. Because as I said, people who want a relationship want a relationship. It's not hard to get results, especially if you are, you know, fairly well put together at that age. There's gonna be men who do want this woman. She just doesn't want them. That's the problem.
This is for my girlies that like to date older men. Listen up. Hey everyone, it's your favorite housewife, Izzy. So you like to date older men, mainly because they're established. Don't tell me that you like them for any other reason, my love, because let me tell you something. A 27-year-old without clothes on does not look like a 57-year-old without.
See, I think this is like, how dare you say what other women like? You know, the whole silver fox kind of James Bond type guy. Like, you're seriously telling me that you don't find that man attractive? You're seriously telling me that you find a 27-year-old more attractive than like a 45-year-old James Bond, or however old he is, 50 maybe even? I mean, like, it's just not true. Like, let's just do a little comparison here, guys. I know most of you are guys, so you're probably going to be like, I'm not commenting on how another dude looks, like, that's gay, but please just indulge me for a second. So who is someone... Women consider someone like Kylie Jenner probably the best looking girl in the world right now. Kylie Jenner is dating this guy. I always think his name's Timothy Chevrolet, but it's Timothy Chalamet. What's his name? Oh, anyway, we need like a full body picture. Look at me objectifying men. I'm so sorry. I just want to prove a point. That really irked me. Oh, older men aren't... You're only with older men because they're established. They're not attractive. That's just not true. And then like... Okay, this is a fair side by side. So this is the problem, right? I cannot fathom it. And the only thing I can put it down to is birth control, because it's just weird. It's weird. So you're telling me that most women, by this lady's logic, most women find this more attractive than this. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? No, I'm sorry. In fact, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. This is so much more attractive than this. It's like, one actually looks like a man, you know? Anyway, besides the, sexual objectification, sorry, fellas, I completely disagree with everything that this lady's saying, in case you couldn't tell.
Clothes on, and you are not going to pick the 57 or 67-year-old without clothes on and giving me up shit. Or whatever I did it for food for the better half.
For the record, Matthew McConaughey is 56. I think that Timothy Chalamet. Please, someone tell me how to pronounce his name. I don't know how old he is, but Timothy Chalamet age. He's 30, so like that's a pretty good age, comparison. No, Timothy Chalamet probably. Oh my gosh. No. Oh gosh. Listen, everyone has a taste, but I just find it weird that women are now seemingly attracted to like very effeminate and underdeveloped men.
Of my 20s, I just want you to think about some things. It's great to date and it's a lot of fun, but I need you to realize that you're in your 20s.
Is it a lot of fun? Is it a lot of fun to just constantly... It's like an interview. I've said this before. It's like an interview for your spouse. You're getting to know someone to decide whether you want to engage in a long-term relationship with them, whether that be marriage, family, whatever. Like, to have to do that all the time, to constantly have to be dating... I don't know, maybe I'm just a broken human being, but I find that the concept, the thought of that exhausting. Like, I haven't even done it, and I find it exhausting. Maybe I should. It's just...
He's now, and he's in his 40s, maybe 50s. But when you're in your 40s, he's going to be in his 60s, maybe 70s. Some factors I need you to think about. Does he have kids? Are you going to be splitting the lot with the kids? How much does that...
Do you have kids?
...leave you? Does he want more kids? Are your kids going to have to split the lot with his kids? Is there enough in that lot for the lifestyle you're living now and your future kids and his kids to live? Because he's going before you and you're going to still be young and have a lot of life to live. When you are 50, he is going to be 70. And you are essentially going to be slightly his nurse. When I look at some of my exes that were 20 years older than me now, I'm like, oh, they're such old men. And I am a young woman.
You're not a young woman.
Now, I am not telling you not to date them and have a great time on their tab.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
And make sure that they are investing in your future. What I am saying is there really a reason to marry them if there's not a G5 and a giant yacht that's going to be left in your name?
Not cute, not funny, not nice.
Even a 5, even a woman who is a 5 will get a lot of attention from men. Can we all acknowledge that? That women, you don't have to be a 10 to get male attention. So ladies, the challenge is not how do you get male attention, because guys will look, right? You could be a 5 walking around in a short skirt and they'll be like, oh, what's going on there? You know, they will look. The challenge is not how to get male attention. The challenge is how to keep male attention and how to get a guy to take care of you, right? Because what happens is guys will give attention to the 5 who's, at the bar, and maybe she's not that great all around. And when I say 5, I'm talking about all around personality, everything, right? They'll even give attention to someone who's, not behaving well. But when it comes down to settling down and where they're going to actually take care of you, now they want a woman of virtue. They want different things. So don't wear it as a badge of honor. Oh, I get male attention. Yeah, you and many others, right? Right. But did you keep him?
Honestly, like I don't understand when women are like, oh, I dated this guy. And it's like, he was a footballer. Oh, I dated a business owner. But you didn't marry him. So like, what are you bragging about? You lost him. Not you dated him, you lost him.
No, men across the board judge women with tattoos. Men across the board judge. You know, if we're gonna say a balance of probability, like there's exceptions, but if we're gonna talk about across the board, the men you want. Like I'm from a pretty well-off community, and like most of my brothers make six figures. Most people in our circles make six figures, and I can tell you that they absolutely judge you if you have tattoos. They absolutely judge you if you have piercings. And I didn't always like this. When I was younger, I was like, Mom, you're so judgmental. Why? Like, I was so mad that she wouldn't let me like do this stuff. And then the older I get, the more I see that she's right. And I just, you know, I really, you know, if I can encourage you in a different direction, that's probably what I'm going to do.
It's not the be all and end all though. Yep. Not at all. I think you could actually end up making it something that works for you. A classy woman with tattoo does stir some intrigue.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. Obviously, it is going to be different for everyone. But I think, you know, the core part of the video is the fact it's like, well, are you covered in them? Now, for some people, they're going to like that. You know, I see these couples and it's like both of them, man and woman, are head to toe covered in tattoos. But I certainly wouldn't encourage my daughters to be covered in tattoos. You know, everyone's heard the facts now about, you know, people who are more anxious, depressive, you know, neurotic in personality tend to have more tattoos. So it's like everyone knows these facts now. So you are just permanently putting on your body like, I'm a neurotic person, which can be quite off-putting for people. You know, most people, you know, most on the ground people probably don't care. But I think what Pearl was saying is obviously like, as she said, she's from a well-off family. She's around, you know, people who are more well off, and she's noticed in those circles that those people do care. So it's like if you're a woman and you're going after, you know, a six-figure earner, chances are, like she said, balance of probability, the men in those circles do not like women to have tattoos. Now I think most men in general, as I say, there's always exceptions, but in my experience, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, most men in general don't want a woman covered head to toe in tattoos. Some people have a few tattoos. Most men I think are probably okay with that because most women today have tattoos. When I say okay with it, I don't mean it's like a preference. I just mean they accept the fact that most women today have tattoos. If you guys know, like obviously I have a couple of tattoos, but that's because, you know, that's just how it is now. Like most women have tattoos. I was stupid and I grew up with a friend whose dad was a tattoo artist, and I got them for cheap, obviously, because my friend's dad was a tattoo artist, and I'm now getting some of them removed. So I always tell younger people when they're like, oh, you know, I'm thinking of getting a tattoo. I'm like, don't. Like, just don't. Because tattoo removal is so painful. It's so painful. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't have any like terrible ones or anything. Like, they're only small. And at the time I thought they were really cool. It's like, they are cool. Like the messages are still cool, but it's like, do I really want them on my body? No, probably not. You guys are going to be asking, so I'm just going to tell you. I have like a little quote on my arm here. It says, freedom is a state of mind. True, absolutely true. But it's like, looks good on a Pinterest board. Not really something I want tattooed on my body. And here I've got another one that says, peace is my philosophy. Again, all true. I still stand by it. Just don't want it on my arm anymore. I'm keeping this at one because it will come off in probably a few years, because if you guys know, tattoos on your hands and around here, like if you use your hands a lot, like I cook a lot, then you know they start to fade over time anyway. And this one just says truth, which there's no tattoo removal is so expensive and so painful. Like for something like this tiny, I'm just like, I don't really feel a need to get rid of it.
Why do you give me a ticket when my check engine light is already on? Like, can you not read the room? Like, I have no money. I can't even. I made this coffee at home. I'm out of milk and it's disgusting. Out of milk. Oat and 2%. Like, and then.
What's crazy to me is like, why are you posting this? Are you hoping someone just like cash apps you £200?
And then the way sisters can hold a grudge, months. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm so done. It's 8 a.m. It's not even 8 a.m. yet. It's 7:29. I think like the morning just makes it worse. Like it just, ugh. Anyways, I'm about to go garage selling. Wish me luck. I have no money. Literally, I have $35 that I can spend on garage selling. And that, you may think, if you have no money, why are you garage selling? Because I need to do something that makes me feel good, because I've been laying and
What is she doing? Ground selling? What is that?
soaking in my room for 4 days all week, and I won't do it for another day. I'm going to enjoy my Friday morning because I don't go out in the nighttime. Yay!
Brothers. And then
What? What in the mental breakdown did I just witness? Listen, being broke sucks. Like, you know, if you're a normal person, you've been broke. It absolutely sucks. But to post about it on TikTok instead of doing something about it, like, yeesh. I don't know. Maybe times have changed, but when I left home and I lived by myself and I was at university, COVID happened. So I wasn't actually at university at all. I was just living by myself, doing my courses through a laptop. Oh my gosh, what a time of life. I worked multiple jobs to keep myself afloat at that time. And those jobs kept getting shut down and closed because of COVID. You know, I would get a job, I would work there for a few weeks, it was going great, and then they'd be like, we've got to close down because, you know, Boris Johnson, our old Prime Minister, had said that this sector now has to close. And obviously because I was young and I'd only really worked in hospitality, like there wasn't many options for me. But it's like, I feel like when you're in times of like dire need, like beggars don't get to be choosers. I was very lucky that I managed to find some quite cool jobs in that time. Well, I thought they were cool, but some quite cool jobs in that time that was like able to keep me afloat. So like, you know, if you are struggling like that and you have a job, but you are still struggling, you need to get another one. Unfortunately, that is just the way of the world these days. So you can either suck it up and get on with it, and then you won't be crying in your car posting TikToks anymore, or you can continue crying in your car posting TikToks. It's like, is that fun? Really? It probably is, because the comments are probably full of people, you know, validating her experience. Like, oh yeah, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks. And just like holding her down instead of being like, hey, why don't you go get another job? Oh, because I don't want to. Do you think any of us want to do that? Like, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm so happy that I became a YouTuber when I did, because it allowed me to have to live real life. You know, I was still fairly young when I became a YouTuber. I was like, what, 22? But literally from 18 to 22, I was doing it. I was doing the hard things. So I know, you know, if one day the internet crashes and, you know, or I get cancelled or whatever, like I know I'm going to have no problem going back out there and finding a job. Because believe it or not, this is like, if I was going to give this girl advice, not that she asked for it, but if I was going to give her advice, I feel like most young people today don't understand that you can get a job really easily. And you don't have to have the qualifications. They might say that on the adverts and stuff, but think about it. If you're going to hire someone for a job, you're sat there looking at like Indeed applications all day long. Everyone's just a number. Everyone's just a CV. Every job I practically ever got was me walking into the establishment, asking for the manager, looking them in the eye and shaking their hand. Because no one does that anymore. So they're automatically going to remember you. You're already ahead of the line of the online applications. Like, and it's just, you know, it's not easy. It takes guts. Like I would be, you know, psyching myself up in my car like, oh, am I really going to do this? But you just do it. Like she could just do this. Print off your CV, go to every single shop on the road that you can. It's like, you know, you can just get another job to keep yourself afloat. I'm so sorry that the world is like that. I'm not taking away from the fact that it is not easy and it is hard out there. And I mean, you know, how many men are doing this stuff already? But that is the way of the world. Sitting in your car crying about it on TikTok is not going to change your situation. Either you want to change your situation, in which case you can, you really can, or you don't. And you're going to continue crying about it on TikTok, even though your actions actually suggest to me that you like your situation because you're not doing anything to change it.
I've never felt so alone, so
This is what happens when you do everything for social media. Like, you're just worried about taking the picture, even if it means being there by yourself.
If only more women knew this. And I was like, yes, they are. They're loyal. They're always happy to see you. They're looking for something to do for you. What could they bring you? they just want to be admired and appreciated. And yeah, if you treated them like dogs, everything would turn out much better. Much better. So anyhow, fast forward, I needed to study more what caused women to treat men the way that we do. And I just kept learning, and women kept asking more and more from me. And so it was like 6 years into it when we did our first workshop on relationships. Before that, it was all just interacting with men and then learning as women what to honor about ourselves, which I learned from men. I thought I knew women until I started listening to men talk about women. Oh my gosh. What you all see is so much kinder than what we see about ourselves and each other. It's so much more beautiful.
Yep. And it's like, you know, I can see people probably getting a bit triggered and being like, oh, you know, treating men like dogs is like such a bad thing, like talking about like the training side of it. But I don't think she means it like that. I think she's saying, you know, when you see a dog, if you're a dog person, I certainly am, it's just like, oh my gosh, like stroke you, like, you know, give you loads of attention, like so happy to see you. And it's like, duh, like, of course, if you treat your man like you're happy to see him every time you see him, I mean, you should be happy to see him anyway, regardless. But, you know, even if you're not feeling the best, just be happy to see him, cheerful, touch him, love him. Like, duh, like, obviously men are going to want that. And obviously that's going to make them feel good. And if they feel good, then they're going to make you feel good in return. It's just like, it's just a great deal. It's just a great deal. So, like, why would you not do that? Because women are addicted to drama. That's why. And we've been trained to be neurotic psychopaths.
Being in your late 20s is so hard. I've seen a few people talk about this and just kind of the loneliness of your late 20s, and especially people who are kind of in this middle stage of, hey, I'm not married, don't have kids, not in a relationship, but I'm also not going out every weekend. I spend a lot of my time by myself. I live alone. I come home from work, I go to the gym, I spend my evenings alone. And on the weekend lately, I feel like I've been so exhausted that all I want to do is like spend time by myself. And I'm struggling with questions about work. You know, am I passionate about what I'm doing? Am I good at it? Should I be traveling right now and not working? Or should I be trying to work remotely so that I can travel? Like, there's just all these things that I think I would like to experience. And it's hard to know, well, when am I going to experience those things?
So she's complaining because her days are busy and she's tired. Guess women think it's simpler for a man.
Men talk about when they're alone, because I genuinely do not understand how men do not know personal.
Okay, so I guess this is a secret that many people don't know. Pop culture loves to portray men as being very simple and shallow, like we'll get together and we'll just talk about sports all day. We'll never get into anything about our personal lives. And I guess women don't realize there's a reason for this. From birth, it was my understanding that the most noble thing you can do as a man is not be a burden on other people. And most men I've known experience talking about deep subjects as work. You are putting a burden on them. It's not a burden to talk about sports or video games or Warhammer figures, but it is, in our perception, a burden to talk about our jobs, our relationships, and so on. So the arrangement you wind up with is, because I like you, I'm not going to burden you.
It's a shame as well, because I feel like, you know, men can't win. If they do open up about their struggles, then they're either going to be told, oh, well, it's not as bad as being a woman, or, oh, you're being dramatic, or, oh, I'm so sorry for you, but then she disappears in a week.
Women. And typically, once they turn age 25, he cuts them off.
When you're dating a 20-year-old and you're in your 40s, they don't have anything to base this back. They have no experience. The experience is a teacher of life.
Older men date significantly younger women because women their own age don't want them.
I am 54.
I don't really want to date a...
Andrew Tate posted this thing recently, and I know everyone has mixed views of Andrew Tate. Personally, I think he's hilarious. Do I agree with his morals and ethics on a lot of things? Would I personally want his lifestyle for my lifestyle? Probably not. Probably not. But the dude is hilarious, and he does speak a lot of sense. Anyway, he posted this thing and he was like, oh, I just had this message the other day, and this woman just told me that the reason I date, 21-year-olds or 22-year-olds is because I can't get women my own age. Damn, you're right. I guess I'm stuck with the 21-year-olds. Like, I'm butchering it, but it was really, really funny.
27-year-old or a 31-year-old. Just endless male privilege. And here we are, 48 hours past the date, and I have not heard a word, even though I have reached out.
Younger woman, please stop dating these old ass dudes.
Why? Because you want them?
Can't hide it. There are tears of frustration this week.
She's damaged. All because a 40-year-old wants to be living his best life.
Any guy who goes after a girl significantly younger than them.
Yeah, Rosie, what's her name? Is it Rosie? It's Rosie Whiteley Huntington and Jason Statham are still together. I follow her on Instagram, and they are a beautiful couple, absolutely stunning couple, beautiful family. They have children. They look great. They seem happy, Just shut up. You think I'm going to listen to a freaking porn star, Mia Khalifa, before I, look at someone like Rosie Whiteley Huntington and Jason Statham? Like, oh, shut up.
Is severely lacking.
Yep, that's right. Wherever there is a happy...
Oh, yeah, because I would much rather be on a yacht in Miami with a bunch of freaking hoes and men who have no interest in anything past my... bits. Not that I have a lot going on, but no, I would much rather be looking at, Rosie and Jason and being like, that is much more of an aspiration for me than the former.
All day, all night.
Really? And then you woke up and realised you were dreaming, you mean?
Well, my day doesn't end sometimes.
What do you mean your day don't end? It don't bloody begin. You spent time on the phone. You spent time just walking around the house, up and down. You spent time walking back and forth from a dining table with your kids. I don't know what you do with your hours. But I tell you one thing as a woman.
Super Nanny was great.
If my husband's working, I do want to make sure that I'm doing what I should be doing at home.
Joe Frost is based, I don't care what you say.
And now I'm making you think about that, because this is the first time I've seen you become emotional, because it's the first time you've even had to sit and think about your actions. You're right.
Good. Absolutely good. Here's hoping she changes.
What's worse, a man rejecting a woman because she's overweight, or a woman rejecting a man because she's short?
A man rejecting a woman.
I would say a woman that's overweight.
A man rejecting a woman?
Yeah,
okay.
is worse.
Of course she would say that. She's overweight.
Yeah, same.
Agree?
I feel like it's equal, if I'm being honest.
Equal, okay.
No, it's not equal. None of it is equal. A woman can change her weight. A man can't change his height. Please. For the sex that's supposedly more focused on equality and equity and being fair to everyone, you guys sure have problems evaluating the value and the, circumstances of things. It's just utterly ridiculous. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up on your way out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to keep up to date with all of my content. And if you'd like to consider donating the channel, you can do that by clicking the various links in the description at buymeacoffee.com and via PayPal. And on that note, guys, I'll see you very soon in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.